But officer, doesn't having a G1 and my friend having a G1 mean that we technically have a G2 within this van? Hey guys, sorry about that. Just kind of thought it was funny. So recently I went to go to my nephew's birthday party. He's 16, so he's just gonna get his license. I think this week he got his license, if my other nephew told me correctly. And just like, yeah, get your license, because like I waited until I was 17 to get my license, and the story popped up in my head. At 14, I was driving around, like I was always asking my dad to drive and stuff like that, and I was driving around, and I didn't actually get pulled over. Like I would drive equipment home from work, like big giant forklifts, the Bobcat, like skid steers, you name it. I would even drive the what do you call it truck, the site truck that had no brakes in it, back home. And I had a lot of fun that way, good times. Site that wasn't all that far away. I think they were like, at the time, it was probably 2 kilometers, 2.5 kilometers. These are multi-million-dollar homes. So nowadays they'd be 10 times that. Like, so I had a lot of fun back then. But I drove around illegally for years, literally years. Like I didn't do anything stupid. Well, there was this one time where I drove the giant forklift through a playground. But there's no proof of that, so we're good. This is a time before social media. And just thinking back to that old golden Aerostar Ford van. I think it's a Ford. Aerostar Ford, yeah, probably. I know they did the Windstar for a while. Yeah, so it's Ford. And it was that golden brown color. You know that color, guys. It's not, there was no wood paneling, but it was a golden brown. And that van was hilarious. Like, I had it all souped up. I had the chrome window wipers, and this is like in the 90s, early 2000s there, and the chrome hubcaps. No skulls on it though, just the chrome hubcaps. The stereo was all jacked up. Like I had the normal stereo, then I had the booster with all the equalizers and stuff, and then I had giant giant household speakers in the back. That's how ghetto we were. It was awesome. And I think there was something wrong with the exhaust, so I ripped it off with a forklift. So big speakers in the back, no tint or anything like that. Big loud exhaust. Well, there's no exhaust. Open exhaust, sounded like a drag car. And me and my buddies would bomb around in that thing. I only had a G1 by the time I got this vehicle. So I was 17, just starting out with this, and only had a G1. Like I waited a year before I got my license. That's why I think everybody else was pushing to get my other nephew to get his license fast. And going on, like I did driver's ed, like the Young Drivers of Canada stuff and all that kind of nonsense. And I just love this vehicle. I took out the middle seat so that the speakers would have lots of room. The back seat was there so my buddies could sit in that and just chill. Like I had this thing set up, and I loved it. Beat that thing the heck. I think it was the first engine that blew up. Yeah, I told my mom at the time, because I didn't know anything about vehicles, like I think the rad hose blew. And she's like, don't just drive it. That vehicle was amazing because it was my literally the first vehicle, and with the chrome window wipers and the chrome hubcaps and the jacked up stereo and everything. Like this thing was so much fun, and I loved just revving it up like rah, 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 and you know the sound of that. Like, it's crazy. But one night I met with my buddies, and my friend's sitting in the captain's chair, the passenger chair, and he only has a G1. I only had a G1. I'm probably almost 18 at this point, or maybe I am 18 at this point, and we still have G1s. Like he's in his 20s, and like I busted his balls about this, but because he took his time too. We didn't need to worry about it. Man, so much fun. Just going around. I lived in Barrie at the time, and we just went around everywhere. And like we used to do the sketchiest things. Like we'd roll up on people, and we had these big giant flashlights. I'm getting off topic here, and we'd run out of the vehicle like, "Guys, please!" Like we would say stupid stuff like that, like yell it out loud, and people would just be like we had these giant spotlights, and we run back in the vehicle and drive away. Like just the funniest things, like just being stupid teenagers. I don't recommend ever doing that kind of stuff, but we would just yell things like that. Anyways, one night we got pulled over. Like, really? Got pulled over in a golden caravan with no exhaust and loud sound and like it all, like no tint, and there's basically a party happening in the back. Yeah, we got pulled over. And so the police officer comes up and she was gorgeous. And me and my buddy are just like, this is the first time we got pulled over, right? Me and my buddy are just like, what do we do? And she's just license registration, so you got the registration, you got the license and everything like that. And then she takes a look at the vehicle. She takes a look at inside the vehicle. She takes a look at my buddies in the back seat there. And she knows what's going on. She sees our licenses and she's like, you only have a G1 license. You're not classified to be able to drive this vehicle at night. Unless you're one of you and three in the back have a full license, you can't be driving this vehicle tonight. I'm like, but officer, he has a G1, I have a G1, and that means we have a total of G2 to drive this vehicle. And you could tell she wanted to laugh. Like, she just wanted to laugh. She's like, you're close to home, I'm going to follow you back, and do not take this vehicle out after I leave. And that was the last thing she said to us. She let us go. We were very happy. She could have taken the vehicle. My mom would have been mad. Like, she wasn't mad about the chrome wipers or the chrome hubcaps or the jacked up steering. No, Mom wasn't mad about that at all. But she would have been mad about us losing the vehicle or being impounded or getting towed and hauled away. Oh, she would have been mad. But this vehicle had bald tires too, and then I'm remembering that. I remember trying to, this is in the winter time when I remember this part, we're trying to get up this little hill, like a little tiny, like maybe a 15, maybe not even that, a 5-degree slope. The vehicle would not go up. It was ice on the ground, or it was slush, sleet, and snow. Like, that's how bald these tires were. And I knew, like, okay. And at the time, I couldn't get up the hill. Some guys were trying to help me push it up. And I was like, guys, just don't worry about this. Random strangers. And the guys, don't worry about this. So I backed it all the way down. Nobody was around at the time, so I had to be really early in the morning, like around 4 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So they must have been inebriated, because these days nobody would help you. That was fun. So I backed it all down and went down another street that was maybe a flat, or had a 3-degree incline. Man, that was fun though. Made me laugh because I knew how to drive the vehicle. Like, rear-wheel drive. This is a van with rear-wheel drive, not front-wheel drive. So shortly after that, I found some used tires. I think I paid $60 or whatever. Got two tires for the rear, and then eventually saved up some more money, and got some front tires. And because the vehicle would wobble like crazy, so we fixed all that up. Love that vehicle. Burnt it down too, because one day I think the rad hose blew, and I was just coming home, so I just kind of like, okay, I'll talk to my mom, see what she says. She says, just drive it. Okay, I'll just drive it. That morning, the rad hose finished off blowing up. There was white smoke all over the highway. I pulled over to the side of the road, and I thought, hey, I need to make that work. I can drive to work, and when the temperature gauge gets too high up there, I will just pull over and let it cool down, and then I'll drive again, let the temperature gauge get up there. And then that's what I did. I did it 3 times before the vehicle stopped running. So I'm like, oh, okay. First engine I ever blew up. Ended up being blew the head gasket, and probably should have let it go a while ago, or fixed it. It was like a $30 pipe at the time. Nothing. But as a teenager, when your mom says just drive it, when your mom tells you to just send it, you drive it. That vehicle was awesome. No middle seat, speakers, rear seat, like, just a fun vehicle. And the best part is, you could start that vehicle, now that I'm thinking about it, because a friend of mine showed me this. He saw it right away, so it must have been stolen in his previous life. Because he said, yeah, you can start this vehicle without the key. He pulls it over, and it starts right up, and like, no way! That's so cool! So I've always loved that, when I could get a vehicle started without a key. I've had a few vehicles like that. I've even cut the key so he just sits in, and then you just crank it over. Man, that vehicle is so much fun. So I'm glad I could share this story with you guys. I can think of a few other stories. I remember skiing behind this vehicle. We did that back in the day. There was big snow out, and I would get up some rope, and we'd just drag ourselves behind the vehicle, or drag a toboggan behind the vehicle. We would do that nonsense in the back roads in Barrie and Innisfil and stuff like that. Didn't have a hitch though, so I never hooked anything up to it. What else? I remember getting it stuck, but I was just in the snow. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yep, 2 sneezes usually. I remember getting the keys locked in the vehicle, and I had to figure out how to get into it. So I grabbed a coat hanger and I fastened, like, this is an Aero Start, right? So you've got the side windows, and I pushed it through, and then this is the vehicle I actually first picked. Yes, it's the first vehicle I actually picked, so to speak. And grab the where the windows open up, the little latch there. This coat hanger comes down, grabs the latch, pulls the window opens up, I reach in, open up the door, get the keys out of the ignition, lock everything back up, and away we go. Like, so much awesome there. This is probably around when the first Fast and the Furious movie was about to come out, or did come out. Good times, guys. Good times. So I'm glad that I could share this story with you. A bunch of random other stories came into it. First was to start off with just with like the first time I got pulled over by a police officer, and I haven't thought about this in years. Man, that was awesome. And she was gorgeous too. I still remember her. Got blonde hair. She had green eyes. All like dressed up to like in gear, whatever it is. And me and my buddy are just sitting there like, because we knew we were in trouble. And then the police officer was beautiful. Like, what do we do? And I'm pretty sure we were both smiling like idiots. Like, oh, well, at least we got pulled over by a beautiful police officer. Even if she gives us hell, we're still going to be smiling. Oh, man. Some great memory. I only just thought of that recently because I went to my nephew's 16th birthday party, and I was thinking about the time when I first got my license, when I first got pulled over, and it's going to happen. So, looking forward to that. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to turn on some tunes and get on to driving. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening to the story this far. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.